Ladybird Book of Dating. Dating is a fun way of meeting someone who is as terrified of dying alone as you are. Finding this person takes time. Cupid's arrow can strike when you least expect. Angela has been struck by Cupid's arrow and is going to live happily ever after. Lonely people know the one is out there somewhere. They will search the whole world for them. It's surprising how often that soulmate turns out not to be on the other side of the world, but fairly nearby and reasonably drunk. The perfect match. Men's brains and women's brains are different, even as children. Boys like to knock a hula hoop off an after eight with a cocktail stick. Girls prefer balancing a first-class stamp on top of a Mr. Man's bowler hat. To get along, men and women pretend not to mind those little differences. Or they become homosexuals. Finding time for love is hard because modern people have busy lives. Pat runs an artisanal macaroon business. She has been very busy. One day she notices she's forgotten to get married and still sleeps on a mattress on the floor. Time is running out for Pat. Dating is all about meeting new people. Alex spends a whole day at work. Once an hour he meets the same person, his supervisor Tim. Tim asks Alex how many funnels there are now. Alex tells him. Alex gets home late and falls asleep in front of a programme about vans. Alex does not meet new people. Deborah has had many unsuccessful dates in the last 8 years, and she still cannot find Mr. Right. Her best friends tell her she should lower her expectations. Deborah is trying her very best. She still would prefer her dream man to have wings or a crown, but he no longer needs to be literally made of gold. Getting ready is part of the date. Michelle's friend Alana has been doing Michelle's hair since Wednesday. Michelle's date Chris is still at home. He is prepared by doing up most of the buttons on his shirt and tidying his fringe with spit. He is finishing a mission on Call of Duty and will be 20 minutes late. Vanessa is meeting Callum for their first date. To help spot each other, Callum and Vanessa have both agreed to wear red. Callum said he would wear his uniform from work. Vanessa was very excited. She thought that Callum might be a guardsman. Lynn has come to a record discotheque. She's hoping to meet a new person to spend the rest of her life with again. The loud music makes the new people impossible to talk to. Luckily, alcohol means that what they're saying is unlikely to be important or interesting. 400th time lucky, thinks Lynn. Bernard and Gail are online friends who have finally met. They know they have a lot in common and are going for a walk. All Bernard can think about is checking his telephone. All Gail can think about is how she's going to describe this date in 140 characters later when she goes to the toilet. Bernard and Gail suspect that in real life they are simply awful people. Andrew has said fewer than 11 words during his date with Lionel. Lionel eats quickly. I should be going, says Lionel. Don't go, says Andrew. This is the best date I've had all year. But my plate's empty, says Lionel. Finish the salt, then we can go, says Andrew. Lionel and Andrew eat the salt. Vernon is on a first date with Francis. He has chosen a venue he frequents regularly where he feels comfortable and can be himself. Because Vernon is relaxed, Francis is relaxed too. The date is going well. Francis is glad they did not go to the Witherspoons. Phil has arranged to meet Abigail in a basement wine bar. The bar is hot and Phil is not used to drinking red wine. His shirt was off before the bruschetta arrived, and he has challenged the waiter to a sword fight. Abigail is going to give it half an hour and call a cab. It might only be a one-night stand, but there's still room for romance. Greggy has spent the night in a public bomb shelter with Pam. In the morning, he surprises her with a cup of tea and a Bruce Forsyth impersonator. Malcolm and Trina are on a date they can both enjoy, buying a new calendar. They both love dates, and also love dates. Malcolm and Trina are calendar buffs. They met at a local calendar club and have a lot in common. The only argument is over which date they're going to pick for their next date, because they love them all. Nita is moving into Owen's flat. Commitment makes Owen nervous. One step at a time, says Nita. At the garden centre, Nita suggests buying a lawn ornament to mark their new life as a couple. Sorry, need new teeth. This one looks nice, says Nita. David and Penelope are buying a jar of lemon curd, which they plan to eat this evening over a game of Hungry Hippos. My girlfriend will pay, says David. Penelope smiles. David has never called her his girlfriend before. The grocer smiles too. Look at my girlfriend like that again, says David, and I'll break your legs. Rebecca is meeting Ian for their 5th date, but Ian has not come. Rebecca is sad. Ian sends a text message instead. He says he's under too much pressure from Rebecca, who is calling him every day. Rebecca thinks this is a lucky escape. Every day is 2 words. Frank divorced 3 years ago. Frank's friend Jeff said Frank should start dating again. Frank is out of practice. He does not like where Jeff goes to meet partners. This place is a cattle market, says Frank. Jeff says Frank is not seeing the potential. Jeff got off with an auctioneer here last week. Marcus and Fiona have had 3 dates. Fiona knows this means she will either end up spending the rest of her life with Marcus or eventually have to break up with him horribly. Both of these ideas are terrifying to Fiona. Tomorrow, Fiona will fake her own death and join Cirque du Soleil. Judith is breaking up with Tony. She knows a text message can be impersonal, so she has come to her local post office. The lady at the counter checks Judith's envelope is sealed. If any of the feces leaks out, the post office is not obliged to carry it. Judith sends her package by recorded delivery. She can make sure it has reached Tony and know she's single again. In other countries, dating is very different. Boleg has 4 good beetroot fields. Ogop and Imnog have claimed him. This evening the women will fight to the death using traditional hammers. In the morning, the women will marry, mate with, and eat Boleg. In the future, dating may be very different. Zachary is off-worlding the data for a new relationship onto his leisure cloud to enjoy later. He has chosen e-dinner with his administrator, Eggmelon. Here, in the year 4 billion, workplace romance is forbidden. But Eggmelon and Zachary's avatars can marry, as long as they have a 5-star user rating. It's Barney and Lee's wedding day. They have certainly come a long way from their first date. They have learned to suppress their personalities and pretend they want the same things, so they will be able to put up with each other for several years. Everyone is happy for them. Their story is over. The end.